The love of power to the power of love. Love is an emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. If you want to understand the world, the universe, you have to become familiar with three terms: energy, vibration, frequency. When you think of love, the two things that we associate with love is falling in love, and love is in the air. Now let's take these two concepts and principles and understand this a little bit deeper. In Sanskrit, ego is a very poor translation of aham-aakar. Aham-aakar. Aham, me and mine. When me and mine falls, you are in the realm of love. And I will remind you of the three principles we have on personal transformation that I live by and I teach. We create our own reality. Everybody and everything is connected, and love is actually a projection of this principle. And finally, abundance is our basic nature. And with love, we can create our reality. Love actually happens or grows or evolves in three stages. In the first stage, we feel like, what better than love, and from going from seeking love to becoming love. And in put in another way, the journey is about going from the love of power to the power of love. And these are all fancy words, but ultimately it's all about love. And love is what? Love is an emotion. And what is an emotion? Emotion is energy in motion. And we've talked about this so many times that if you want to understand the world, the universe, you have to become familiar with three terms: energy, vibration, frequency. Energy is information. Everything, human beings and all other beings, and even plants, animals, minerals, everything is information which is constantly moving at different frequencies. And ultimately, there are two emotions: to high frequency, low frequency. And these two emotions are love or fear. Now let's figure out what is fear. Fear is a lack of faith in a divine plan, in a universal plan and divine timing. So that's where you start operating from your limited self. You try to control everything around you because you don't have a bigger picture. You don't trust the bigger picture. You don't trust the higher intelligence. So you start controlling your external environment. And as we all know, there is no way we can control everything in our environment. So the only other option is to try out the power of love. We have been trying out the love of power, how to control people, circumstances, events. That has not worked for us. So why don't we try the exact opposite, the power of love? Now, love, when you think of love, what is it, in the English language, what are the two things that come to your mind? To me, the two things that we associate with love is falling in love, and the other one is love is in the air. Now let's take these two concepts and principles and understand this a little bit deeper. So when you say falling in love, the operative word is falling. Even in this language, we don't say rising in love. What is falling in love? Love is such a wonderful thing. Why should we be falling in love? Because falling is not our physical falling. It is the falling down of our ego. And what is ego? Ego, translated in English, in Sanskrit, it's called aham-aakar. In English, it means edged God out. And what is God? God is the unity principle. In Sanskrit, ego is actually ego is a very poor translation of aham-aakar. Aham-aakar is aham-aakar. Aham, me and mine, the form of me and mine. When me and mine falls, you are in the realm of love. And that the power of love you tap into. So that is the important thing. If you really want to tap into the power of love, you have to fall in love. And fall is what? Fall of your ego, fall of your aham-aakar, fall of your me and mine. Because once you say me and mine, that means you are separating yourself from the unity consciousness, which is God, and you want to control. But if you are everything, if you can identify with everything, there is nothing to control. So that is one thing you have to understand about love. And the other thing is love is in the air. Now we are made up of 5 elements and 3 qualities, but the 5 elements are what? Earth, water, fire, air, and space. And love is in the realm of the element of air. And as you know, air is something that connects everybody to everything. We cannot, in matter, there is division. India is separate from America. America is separate, between two continents, there's water. There is no, all the continents are not connected. Same with water. All the rivers and all the waters are not connected. There are divisions. Fire is something that comes and goes, but air is something that is continuously connected. Nobody can say the air of India stops here, air of China starts here, air of China stops here, air of America starts here. No, air is something that connects everybody to everything. And if you think about it, the air you breathe in and you breathe out, somebody else is breathing in that air. So air is something that connects us all into that unity consciousness. And that is the two things you have to understand is, anything that is airborne, you catch it right away. If it is foodborne or if it is waterborne, it's not as what should I say, infectious. But airborne is extremely infectious. So love is actually very easy to catch. We struggle so hard to bring love into our life because we have separated ourselves from the unity consciousness. So understand that with the element of air, you can connect yourself with everybody and everything. And I will remind you of the 3 principles we have on personal transformation that I live by and I teach. First one is what? We create our own reality. Second one is everybody and everything is connected, and love is actually a projection of this principle. Everything and everybody is connected. And finally, abundance is our basic nature. And with love, we can create our reality. Now, there are 3 stages of love. What we don't understand, when we say love, we just think of love. Love actually happens or grows or evolves in 3 stages. In the first stage, we feel like a victim or a helpless person, where there is a lack of love. We don't have love. Love is out there. Somebody is controlling that love, and there is a lack. We want it from somebody else. It's a very unpleasant situation because you have no control, zero control. Then your awareness grows a little bit and you realize love is transactional. You have some control over love. If I love you, you will love me. If I give you some gift, you will give me some gift. If I profess love for you, you will profess love for me. So love becomes a transactional thing. But even then, you don't have complete control over your emotion, about the high frequency thoughts. Because we said in the beginning, there are only 2 emotions, love and fear. And all the positive emotions are in the derivatives of love. Gratitude, forgiveness, peace, calm, compassion, mercy, everything is a derivative of love. And fear, all the negative emotions are derivatives of fear. Jealousy, shame, guilt, anger, anxiety, lack of faith. So we are constantly trying to take this emotion, our energy, and vibrate, move up to the higher frequency of love. So you've gone from lack, where you have no control, to you go to transactional love, where I give you something, you give me something. Finally, when your energy rises to your heart center, in chakra system, we call it the Anahata chakra, that is called unconditional love. Because before this, there is only conditional love. It is conditioned by time, place, and causality. Sometime we love somebody, and after a while we may not love that person. That is conditioned by time. Then place, at a certain place in our life or a certain time in our life, we love somebody or we don't love somebody. And causality, as long as you give me what I want, I will love you. So that is called conditional love. Unconditional love is from your heart center, where you give love. You create with love without expecting anything back, because you know that you have tapped into that God consciousness, that unity consciousness, and you know that you cannot outgive the universe. The rule of the universe is that whatever you give, it has to multiply it and return it back to you. So you do what you want to do because you want to do. It is not conditioned by time, it is not conditioned by place, and it is not conditioned by causality, that there is a give and take, a transaction. So that is called unconditional love. And who had what kind of power? People will say, oh, if I do that, I will be cheated, I will be defrauded, people will take advantage of me. That is a misconception, because we don't understand that. Look at what people with who have tapped into the unconditional love of the Anahata Chakra, the heart center. Who are they? We're talking about Jesus, we're talking about Buddha, we're talking about Radha and Krishna, we're talking about Lord Ram, we're talking about Lord Hanuman. Any religion you take, ultimate love comes from the heart. And that's what I also want to talk about, the Anahata Chakra. In the chakra system, we have the lower chakras, which are the material energy in us. The first three chakras are money, sex, and power. Money gives you ease, sex gives you desires, ease, joy. Sex gives you, actually, by sex, we don't mean actual physical act of sex. Sex means desires, gives you pleasures, and power. Power gives you power, control. The top three chakras are the spiritual energy, which is Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is truth. Chit is awareness of that truth. Once you're aware of that truth, you are in a state of bliss. So that leaves us the Anahata Chakra, which balances the material energy and the spiritual energy, constantly give and take, give and take, give and take. And that Anahata, the actual meaning is An-ahat. What is Anahat? There are two meanings. Ahat means to hurt. It's also called unstruck, unhurt or unstruck sound. And once the energy rises to your Anahata Chakra, it is very difficult to strike it down. Like Jesus, he doesn't, how others treated him, he did not care. Buddha, it was not based on how others responded. They decided, we are going to create from power. And look what they were able to create and what they were able to experience. The second meaning of Anahat is unstruck sound. Any sound that you hear with your physical ears, it is caused when two energies strike. You cannot hear just with the physical ears, you cannot hear with one energy. Two energies have to strike for you to hear in your physical ears. But those who have gone into deep meditation, they hear in the Anahata Chakra, in their heart, they hear Om, which is the primordial sound. It is not created by striking of two things. It is the one universal energy. And guess what? The beauty of that Anahata Chakra is that, you've heard in Christianity and in every religion, actually, it is there, of the virgin birth, the immaculate conception. Jesus was born by virgin birth, right? Mary, they said that it was immaculate conception, meaning there was no physical relationship, but sexual relationship, but Jesus was born. Same with, if you see Ram, any one of these characters, archetypes, you see Hanumanji, the wind god, his mother is Anjani, father is Kesari, but he was born from the wind. What is this thing that is the virgin birth or the immaculate conception? You need only one energy. You are not dependent on any other energy to create that level of unconditional love. This is the symbolic of virgin birth or immaculate conception, is symbolic of spiritual transformation. When you die to your animal nature, the bottom three chakras, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura, are your animal instinct and our animalist nature. When you die to that and you're reborn to your spiritual nature, that is called immaculate conception. You don't need anybody else for your spiritual growth. For love to experience and tap into the power of love, you don't need anybody. You don't need anybody, but you can create tremendous change within yourself and everywhere around you, like Jesus did, like Buddha did, like Lord Sri Ram did, Hanumanji. Any spiritual tradition, religious tradition you go, there will be stories of immaculate conception or virgin birth. And it is not a literal term we take it. Spiritual, it is symbolic of spiritual transformation. And that is when you tap into that heart center. In the Ho'oponopono tradition, the ancient Native American, from Hawaii, everybody must be familiar, or if you're not, you should look up this concept of Ho'oponopono, where they just chant 4 phrases: love, I love you, thank you, forgive me, sorry. And love is the first one, because these four are the keys to entire spiritual traditions all over the world. Love, gratitude, forgiveness, and repentance. Today, we are only talking about love. Next week, we'll talk about forgiveness. After that, we'll talk about gratitude, how to inculcate that, the mantras that go with it. Love is the key to creation. Without love, there would be no creation. So once you tap into love, just believing in it, chanting it in any form and believing in it, you will be able to shift the energies, that the energy will start vibrating at higher frequencies of the emotions of love and its derivatives, as opposed to lower frequencies of fear and its derivative. Because remember, what we feel is what we attract. So if you're feeling anything other than love, you will only be attracting that. And how do we change the feeling? Through chanting of mantras, the simplest way. There are many ways, but this is the simplest. And today we will chant two things. One is a mantra where you reassure yourself of your immaculate conception of your virgin birth or your spiritual transformation. We will talk about that. We will also do the Ho'oponopono prayer for a few minutes. We will do Sanskrit chanting for a few minutes, and we will also for the chanting, of course, your audio will be off, but you can be repeating in your by yourself, so that you can tap into the group energy. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. In case you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those questions. Okay. So I will start with every one of these satsangs and sangha meetings. We will start with Om. We talked about in the previous beginner mantra sessions the importance of Om. I don't want to go through all of that again. Then we will do an Om Gam Ganapataya Nama, and then we'll do the Sahana Vavatu mantra, which is a group. It generates group energy, where we ask that everybody in this group is protected, everybody is nourished, and everybody is blessed with a tremendous radiance, so that whatever we create together, it illuminates the world, and we achieve name and fame and prosperity and love everything. So once we create the group energy, then each session we will be chanting a different mantra to invoke and bring in those energies into us. So we will start with 3 Oms, one Gam Ganapate Nama, one time Sahana Vavatu mantra, and then you can follow me with the Aham Satyam mantra. And let's start. So you can follow me, but keep your audio mute, so there's no echo. By chanting the 3 Oms, we have aligned our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and our superconscious mind with the universal energy. Now we will invoke the blessings of Lord Ganesha, who is the gatekeeper between our material energy and our spiritual energy, asking for his blessings to remove any obstacles to creating powerful energy of love. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Now we will invoke the group energy mantra, Sahana Vavatu. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We invoke peace inside us. We invoke peace in our external environment. And we invoke peace in cosmic dimension. Because if there is no peace, there is no love. Now, you can silently repeat or loudly repeat in your whatever you feel comfortable with. Aham Satyam. I am the absolute truth. Aham Purnam. I am full beyond time and space. Aham Nitya Mukta Swarupam. I am ever free. Aham Shantam. I am peace. Aham Premam. I am love. Aham Nityananda Swarupam. I am the ever blissful. We'll repeat this few times. Anytime you feel your energy dipping, you're feeling or experiencing negative thoughts, start with I cancel the negative thought, whatever you are feeling, fear, anxiety, jealousy, frustration, and then say I choose, and say these phrases in any order. Any one of these phrases will raise your vibration almost instantaneously to the higher frequencies of love. Aham Satyam. I am the absolute truth. Aham Purnam. I am full beyond time and space. Aham Nityananda Swarupam. I am ever free. Aham Shantam. I am peace. Aham Premam. I am love. Aham Nityananda Swarupam. I am the ever blissful. One more time. Aham Satyam. I am the absolute truth. Aham Purnam. I am full beyond time and space. Aham Nitya Mukta Swarupam. I am ever free. Aham Satyam. I am the absolute truth. Aham Purnam. I am full beyond time and space. Aham Nitya Mukta Swarupam. I am ever free. Aham Shantam. I am peace. Aham Premam. I am love. Aham Nityananda Swarupam. I am the ever blissful. Last time. Aham Satyam. I am the absolute truth. Aham Purnam. I am full beyond time and space. Aham Nitya Mukta Swarupam. I am free, ever free. Aham Shantam. I am peace. Aham Premam. I am love. Aham Nityananda Swarupam. I am the ever blissful. And any time you catch yourself judging, criticizing somebody else, remind yourself this phrase, I am that I am. You have to identify with what you are judging, because anything that we do not accept about ourselves, we project it onto others. The minute you accept it, it dissolves and you become the complete absolute love. Because remember, falling in love is letting your ego fall. Your ego is aham-aakar, the form of you that is separate from the universal energy. The minute you drop that aham, me and mine, and identify with whatever it is you're judging or experiencing and just claim it. Say, I am that I am. If you see somebody who is, you think, less than love, identify with it. Clean it within yourself with the Ho'oponopono phrase. And it's very simple. Just say, I love you to the person, experience, circumstance, anything that is bothering you, challenging you, scaring you. Just say, I love you. With your hands together at your Anahata chakra. Constantly remind yourself to operate from your heart center. That is where sits the Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, Lord Ram, Hanuman, Lord Buddha, you name it. Any one of these archetypes, they're all operating from their Anahata, that which cannot be struck. If you operate from your Anahata, you don't need another person, and nobody, no force on earth can strike you down. All you have to say is, I love you. You make yourself one with that which you are separating yourself from, and watch the miracle happen. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Didn't quite understand when you said the archetype of like Jesus and Buddha, and when you don't need anybody to create something.
I'll elaborate on that. Have you heard of the Immaculate Conception of Jesus?
Kind of, not
Yes,
very
so
much in
if you
detail.
go
Yes.
back and look at their mythological stories, of the Catholic religion, or if you even go to Buddha, there's a story that Buddha was born from the right side of his mother near the heart. How is that possible? Is it even a physical reality? And Mary was, they say it was immaculate conception. There was no sex involved. She was, the Virgin Mary. That's why she's called the Virgin Mary. But yet she had Jesus. So you cannot take these things literally. And what does Jesus stand for? What does Buddha stand for? Even Sri Ram, he was not born from Dasarath and Kaushalya having sex together. They came from, a special puja was done, a worship was done, a yajna was done. Either out of the fire they would come, or a celestial kheer will come. What are these stories trying to tell you? They are, of course, born from flesh and bone. But when they're a person, a human being, you're talking about, there is this male and female energies getting together at the second chakra. You give birth physically. But When you become Jesus, Jesus is not just a human being. At that point, he is reborn as in a spiritual transformation. Now he's tapping into himself, into his spiritual powers, not to his material and physical powers. So these stories are built to tell you that you don't need anybody else to experience love and to give love. Then the two, male and female, not required anymore. It is you and you alone. I am that I am. I don't need anybody else. And same with Buddha. You're not, because the minute, remember, in the first stage of love, we can't do anything. We're helpless. Second stage is a transactional, which is a male-female thing, give and take. I give you, you give me. But your third stage is the stage of Jesus, stage of Buddha, stage of Lord Ram, stage of Hanuman. They are not, you don't need anybody for love. You create love. Look what level of love they created, these archetypes. They were human beings and they were born, but the stories around are telling you that when you are born again, your spiritual birth is happening. Your physical birth has already happened. So that is why they have stories of immaculate conception, virgin birth, and that even Lord Hanuman. If Anjani was the mother and Kesari was the father, why is he called Vayuputra? Where is Vayu coming from? Sri Ram, you have Dasarath and Kaushalya, but why they had to get this kheer from somebody and 3 wives were drinking the kheer? What was that kheer? So that is the virgin birth, the immaculate conception, where you need a female body, you need a womb for a physical birth, but the masculine energy is the spirit now. It's not a man anymore. The Bijeta is the spirit. So Vayu Putra. Even Sri Ram didn't come from Dasarath, came from that kheer. Hanumanji came from, and Lord Jesus, why do you call her Virgin Mary? We always need a womb, because for material birth, for matter, there has to be a womb. But for spiritual birth, you don't need a masculine energy anymore. The spirit is the co-creator with the matter. Am I making myself clear?
Yeah. So like Karna is, but he is not. He's not a kind of a spiritual, but he's still kind of is he in the same category as?
You're talking about the Pandavas, Karna? Yes, yeah. They're all, in fact, think about it. How did Kunti give birth to those 6 people? Did he through Pandu? No. Karna was the sun god's son.
Yeah.
And if you go into the deeper significance behind them, they all stand for certain types of thinking within us. Karna is the misguided ego, doesn't know who he really was. Like us, aham-aakar. He is the embodiment of aham-aakar, because he could not realize that he is actually a Pandava. That is our ego. We don't know that we are actually spiritual beings having a material existence, not material beings trying to have a spiritual existence. So these stories are built because to bring into, then you have Yudhishthira, whose actual spiritual father is Ramaraj, not Pandu, not his physical father, but always mother. That is why in many traditions, especially in Jewish tradition, you're traced through your maternal lineage. Because for a physical birth, you have to have a womb. But for spiritual birth, any archetype can be your father. And then you have Bhima, who is again Vayuputra, Arjuna, who's Indra's son. And then the Ashwini twins are Nakula and Sahadeva. So their fathers are all spiritual. Mother, of course, because if you have to have a human body, you have to have a human womb. Same with Jesus, same with Buddha, same with any religion you take. There are stories of virgin conception, which is what you brought out, Kunti. All 6 of them were virgin conceptions. There was no man involved. But these are not realist. These are archetypal stories. These are not to be taken literally, symbolically. To have Karna-like qualities, Karna is the misguided ego, aham-aakar. And that is why he was always suffering. He had everything, but he suffered. Even when he found out he's a Pandava, he refused to take up that identity. It's like our ego, separate from my actual who I am. Karna could never recognize that. And that's why he always suffered.
Hey, what a wonderful session. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you for the chant and thank you for repeating it. I don't know the language, but I love it. My only question is it important if you sing in that melody or can you sing in a different melody?
Very, very good questions. Two things I forgot to mention. Neither the melody is important nor the words are important. It can be in any language. It can be in your language. And that's why I try to bring in traditions from different religion, because it's all the same. Love, rose, by whatever name you call, is still a rose. But that feeling, because we are talking about emotion, we have to connect from the heart. Having said that, there are certain words or phrases or prayers which over thousands of years have been programmed to. It's just like, in the world of, let's say, Xerox. Now, before Xerox was born, nobody knew what that was. Mere copying was called Xerox because every time Xerox was doing it. So these mantras, having been repeated time and again, have started taking on that meaning. So the minute you say love, we know what we're talking about. You tap into that energy because every word has a frequency. If you say, instead of say, having said that, you can't say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, and expect to generate love. Because for thousands of years, billions of people have used hate to mean something. So having said that, any language is fine, any tune is fine, but it has to have a meaning of love attached to it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Before I just want to encapsulate one thing. The three principles I will always remind you people when we start and when we end is we create our own reality. And the second principle is that everyone and everything is connected. And third principle is abundance is our basic nature. And having said that, how do we create our own reality? With love. This is the first principle we are delving into today. And anytime you feel anything other than love, and by love, I said in the beginning, all the positive emotions. And how do you know it's a positive emotion? When you think about it, you feel light and expanded. And fear is the opposite of love, not hate, fear. And how do you know you are in the realm of fear? Because anything that makes you contracted and heavy is fear. The minute you know that you are not feeling light and expanded, but feeling contracted and heavy, you say, I choose to cancel fear, anger, jealousy, depression, whatever it is. And then you say, I choose to believe instead this mantra or any other mantra. Just say, I choose to believe in love, 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 love. Put your hands together, bring it one, not two, one at your heart center. This is what's going to get you over. Try it. It has never failed and it will never fail if you do it with faith. And that's all I have to say. It was wonderful to have the group energy. And next week, we will be talking about forgiveness because, these four things I want to really stress on. One is love, forgiveness, gratefulness, and repentance. One more thing I would add to that. When we talk about dropping our aham-aakar, me and mine, what do? We start identifying with everything. So it's like me, my body, my mind, my intellect. You open it a little bit, my family. Open it a little bit more, my extended family. Open it a little bit more, my community. Open it a little bit more, my religion. Open it a little bit more, my country. Open it a little. You can keep on increasing. And this Sangha will help you open your boundaries, that aham-aakar, me and mine. And anything that you do together is in a practice has tremendous power. There are two things. You have to do things on your own. You also must tap into group energy. In every religion, they talk about Sangha, a community that helps you. Some people call it Sangha, some call it Satsang, some call it Kirtan, whatever it is. It helps us to generate powerful group energy. And any of you who have been part of a group will realize that you bring something more than if you were doing it on your own alone.